Hey guys, my guest today, Dr. Linda Salvin, and I will be talking about spiritual attacks. We'll be right back. Grab your popcorn and snacks. Find a comfy spot, take a seat or lie down, and let me transport you to a place of fantasy, ghost stories, ancient legends, odd creatures, alien encounters, and other magical topics. You may even decide to join the conversation. From faraway lands to your own backyard, with a small dash of pixie dust, turn out the lights and open your minds. The journey is about to begin. Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. How we all feeling today? It sucks. I know it's the beginning of the week. Plus, we're still in Mercury retrograde. That sucks, too. But otherwise, I'm doing great. Did a bunch of yard work today. Took a nice nap, so I'm fully awake doing the show, so I'm having a ball. Let me open up the chat room there. My name is Charlotte. I'm going to be your host for the next hour. I'm also the owner of the California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team. I'm just adjusting myself here. I just hate it when things don't hang the way they're supposed to. I'm also the owner of the, hello, Samantha. Hello. Yes, I am. Samantha, thank you for coming. I'm also the owner of the California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team based out of Sacramento, California. We are 45 strong up and down the state, which means if you think you have a paranormal need, we can get to you. It may take us a couple days. Big state, right? When you think of California, you think of it like Hawaii with the California girls, right? Always the beaches, the fun in the sun. Well, it is like that, but there's also inland things that take up space, and we've got flatlands, we've got farmland, we've got mountains, you name it. California has everything, and it's all within usually a 1 to 2 hour driving distance from any city. So, in the case that we can't make it out there within, right away, we do have psychics on staff who can phone you and talk to you about what may or may not be going on. And if they think it's paranormal, they can settle the energy down for you until we get out there. It usually doesn't take us more than 1 or 2 days. Like I said, we got people everywhere. All right. That being said, if you want to find us, just Google California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team or Google California Haunts Radio, and you'll find us. We're on all the social media places. Let's talk about social media. Facebook. If you're watching from Facebook tonight, and a lot of you are, please feel free to follow if you haven't done so already. We're always looking for followers. And during the show, if you like what you hear and see, please be sure to leave us a thumbs up, happy face, happy heart, whatever you feel like doing, and that would be great. Same thing with YouTube. We have 980 videos over at YouTube, all of this show. All different topics. I get bored doing one staying with paranormal, so I like to vary it. So that's something to look at. I have them in different files. I'm almost caught up at getting all the files settled. So you guys can just click on a file. If you're into Dr. Linda Salvin or you're into Medium Nancy Matz, you can just click on that file and just call those videos right up. Everything's set up that way, just like cryptids, you name it. So just check that out, and if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube, please feel free to do so. Always looking for that. I'm 150 away from my 1,000 mark, even though I know there's a lot more of you that watch this show. I know it. You're lurking. I know it. Even on Facebook. You're lurking. You don't come in the chat room, but you're lurking. I see you. All right. Again, that goes for all the social media. We're also broadcasting on Twitch and Twitch and X, and TikTok. So those rules as far as engagement goes for all the social media. Follow me, from wherever you are if you haven't followed. Hit me up with some hearts, hit me up with some happy faces, and all that good stuff. Because what that does is that throws us out farther in what they call the FYP, which is the master computer. And the master computer sees all these people in the chat room talking, etc., and it puts me out to a lot more, push the show out to a lot more people. Okay, see, that was easy. If you guys want to be ghost hunters, you want to join the California Haunts team, I've got some openings. But the only thing I ask is that you have to take this class. There's a class that I have, and it's all training to see if you want to actually do this with us. I'm not saying that I'm anal. I'm very meticulous. I've done this for 18 years. I'm very meticulous about how my ghost hunting team should act and perform on an investigation. This is what I train you. Equipment, you name it. If you want to do that, go on after the show. Go ahead and visit the California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team meetup site. Go to events and you'll see it there. So join us, okay? We're looking for people. My guest tonight, my good friend Linda Salvin, is with us, and I'm really excited to talk to her. It's always fun. We're going to be talking about spiritual attachments today. But, we'll see how it goes. It should be an interesting conversation. There's a lot going on out there. Mercury is wreaking havoc, as always. And maybe we'll have a little conversation about that and see what's happening with Linda and Mercury. All right, here we go. Let's bring her on. Get the show on the road. Here we go.
Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, what's up?
Oh, what is it? Oh, my God. This retrograde, as you said, is kicking my butt, man. Whether it's communication, spiritual attacks, negativity. I forgot what time it was. I thought it was like an hour and a half earlier. And then I looked at my watch. I thought, oh, my God, I got to get going. And I'm just upside down like everybody. It makes no sense. And the weird ones are coming out of the woodwork and attacking like it's my fault. I had one girl who I've been reading probably 15 years, and she's got her own issues. And when I was in Alaska last month, she texted me about something, and I said, I'm in Alaska, I can't talk. And then when I came back, she goes, I didn't text you. I'm like, okay. And then during the week, she said, I need a reading. So I called her today to book the reading, and I gave her $30 off because I've known her so long, and I knew she has a problem financially. She goes, I can't afford that. It's like, why take my time administratively to go through the whole motion? But I'm the one that has the problem. I'm the one with the attitude. I'm the one with the caustic voice. Like, oh my God, I'm just doing my job, right?
Right.
So a lot of people point fingers and three go back, but they don't want to see it. And I had to go to a healer of mine, like, am I crazy or is it the people who are crazy? And he says, well, it is Mercury retrograde, as you said, and it is. And man, it amplifies.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was thinking of you today, though. I was out doing yard work, not because of yard work, but I was thinking of you. I always listen to oldies. Oldies make me work faster, I guess. And Jan and Dean came on, singing a song about Linda. Yes.
Yeah, I knew Jan Berry before he died, and he would call me up on the phone. He'd say, "La la 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 la," and hi Jan, how you doing? Yeah, he wasn't. I met him long after the songs were out, and long after he had already been in his accident, which crippled him. But yeah, we were friends back in the 80s, early 90s. Whenever I think he died in 92, I don't remember exactly. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, that song, la 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 la.
And yeah, I thought of you. Not that we're old or anything, but I just knew you would know this.
Well, I was named after the song When I Go to Sleep, I Never Count Sheep, I Only Dream About Linda, which was originally written for Linda McCartney.
Okay, that makes sense.
It was, her parents were big with Kodak, I think, and one of their friends was a big songwriter and wrote the main song that Linda had named after her, written for her. And then when my mom heard the song, I think that's why I was named Linda.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Is my light too bright? Should I turn it down? I think it's a little too bright on the.
You could, yeah, you could turn it down a little bit, yeah.
Hold on, just a second.
Sure, no problem.
Of course not.
If you guys want to join a really good paranormal team, we have a really good reputation. We can even give you references if you want. Come on over to California Haunts Meetup and sign up. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
A little better. Okay.
That's a lot better.
Yeah. Oh my God. People love your show when you come over on my end and we talk about the paranormal like we did a few weeks ago. I love working with you. I think it's fun because we come from totally different backgrounds, yet we meet in the middle.
Yes. 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 So we're going to talk about spiritual attachments today. And how can you tell? This is coming from your perspective. Look at that. It's happening now. Just to give you guys a warning, it was a big news day politically. Okay. So my internet so far is holding up, but we'll see.
You're spotty and you're more muffled than you usually are. There's more of a staticky sound on your end this time. Yeah.
Sometimes I hate this mic. Sometimes the mic does well, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe it's turned up too high. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Sometimes that helps to turn it down.
I missed the news here. What happened today? I mean, it was bad enough on Saturday with Iran attacking Israel. What happened today did I miss?
Well, since I don't want to talk politics, but a certain person was on trial today. So.
In New York, he made history.
Yes. So, yeah. So that's why. I know a lot of the majority of my neighbors are followers of his. So.
I bet. Okay. Let's change the topic. Let's talk about speaking of entities. That's an entity in and of itself.
Tell me how can you tell if you have a possible spiritual attachment?
I've been hit since today's Monday. As of last Tuesday or by Wednesday morning, I woke up and I was flatlining. I couldn't get out of bed. I start thinking suicidal ideation. The world hates me. What have I done? All this negative thought processes come in, and it almost strangles me. When somebody's working on me or sending me bad juju, or if there's candles being done on me or whatever ritual, I feel it. I can hear it. So I contacted a friend of mine who's also very keen on energy and does magic and spells and stuff. She picked up on it immediately before I even said anything, and she mentioned that some male that I know is working on me, and I knew exactly who she meant. I gave her a couple of names and she nailed it. But what happens is, we can be going along, doing our shows, doing our work, doing our clients, paying bills, taxes, whatever, right? Then all of a sudden there's this dip, not just a slow dip that is natural, but I mean, it is a deep dive. And when that happens, and it's not about being bipolar, or it's not being about eating something or drinking something that threw me off balance. It is an attack spiritually. And then I start hearing it, and I get like in an invisible padded cell, like a membrane is around me, and I can't escape until I find the right person or people that can unlock the door for me and remove the schmutz, just like I help heal people and take it off of them when they're attacked. But when it comes to me, it's usually somebody who's jealous, somebody who's resentful, or somebody who doesn't want to see me succeed, and they're trying to knock me down so they can feel better about themselves. I haven't been through one this intense in a long time. I even reached out to you, like, I need help, and you don't hear that from me.
Absolutely.
And
I've been under attack, so I mean, it's just been crazy. I know I found out because, like you, my energy suddenly took a dump.
Yeah.
I couldn't stay awake at night. I couldn't do anything. In fact, Saturday, I was asleep all day.
I stayed home over the weekend. Yeah. And this was not retrograde energy. There's a difference. We know the retrograde and the cuckoo stuff, or the technology or communication or people coming back and releasing negative. We know that. But when we go deep into this abyss, or the thoughts are so negative that you want to disappear, I'm wondering, since you were on the show with me a couple of weeks ago, I'm wondering if somebody out there got us and tried to put the flame out, the light out of us because of what we were talking about with near death and all the other stuff. It could be if we both got attacked, because it's not a frequent process, and not everybody feels it or can identify it. Okay.
Right. I agree.
I think especially the light workers, the psychics, the healers, whatever you want to classify us in, which is a little more sensitive than the cognitive everyday people that just go with money, power, prestige, and don't see the spiritual side as deeply. They may have a mood, they may have a moment, but they don't go through this horrible spiral into the well.
No, I agree with you. So, it's been something that the last couple of weeks. I get those negative thoughts, and I try to break away from them. But I do sit, maybe because I'm here alone more or whatever, you have time to sit there and dwell. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I'm the same way. Being alone can make you crazy in and of itself.
Yeah.
But when it hits, Charlotte, for the people listening, it's not just isolation, which is crazy making, which is why a lot of torture or jails, they put you in isolation so the mind plays games. You're really being punished, but we're not being punished. We have the ability to get up and go outside, work in the yard, call somebody, but I become paralyzed, where it's so intense. As much as I say, go exercise, go hug a tree, do what I teach, I can't. I am literally like a paralysis, like a spiritual paralysis. And I know you go that deep. And it's not a depression, and it's not a biochemical, oh, you're just having a hard day, you're tired. No. A spiritual attack can be somebody sending or doing candles or whatever ritual targeting. And then they try to bring it down, or try to get you to die, or try to get you to stop. And then they lose because we pop back up again. And we still come back. but it's going through it. It's like, now who? Now what? Why? Why? There's enough crap out there. What do we need this for?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I was told when I got a hold of the shaman, I was told there was one dark entity, that was attached to me, and then there were 5. There I go. Wherever Mario goes. Drop, drop, drop. I just reset my...
You're all fuzzy.
It'll come back. I reset my modem before the show started, so we'd have a clean start with it. But no.
No, the spirits are saying, okay.
They don't like this talk. They don't like this talk at all. But she told me that I not only have a dark one following me, that there's 4 or 5 others that are following me too that aren't dark. But still, even the good ones, and I love what I do. I love to help people and all, but even the good ones can drain you.
Drain like a faucet running water, and then the well stops, and the average person does not experience this. I was talking to a doctor friend of mine. He's a chiropractor, but he's on this other frequency because he too had a near-death experience a long time ago, which puts him on a different healing level than the average chiropractor. Okay, so he gets my language, I get his, and we move the schmutz and the entities or the energies off each other, because he's a practitioner like you're a practitioner, like I'm a practitioner. Most people don't know we take on their stuff 10 times more than the average person because of our brightness or our gift. And then when it does hit, it's like, why do you hate me so much? I just went through this with my sister. I blocked her. It's like, I don't know why she hates me so much. I have no clue. She says I'm a different personality with all my friends. I'm so popular, but with her, I'm different. I'm like, I'm not any different, but I think she may be intimidated or there's a competition thing. I don't know anymore. I just blocked her. I've had it. I'm tired of brown nosing, apologizing. I said, you don't even know the word apology. Some people can't say I'm sorry.
Right.
But they can dish out crap, right?
Absolutely. Can you tell when you're talking to somebody that they've got something dark with them? When you're talking.
Yes.
And that way you're able to put up extra, extra safety stuff around you. But sometimes even that doesn't work.
A lot of times I'll pick up the phone, and somebody says, "Oh, they're so peaceful," but I will attack or get a little anxious because their energy is choking me. So I'm like a mirror, and I give it right back. What's wrong with you? You've got all the problems. You're this. I said, no, it's really you. All I do is, I'm just trying to book your appointment. Yeah, but you're so. I said, no, I'm picking it up from you. One time I said to somebody, you need a shaman, you need a healing, and if you get all that cleared, then you can come back to me. Because like you, Charlotte, I hear it in the voice, and boom, I'm attacked. All I do is my job. I wouldn't have been doing it for over 30 years if I was so horribly abusive to all these 2 people that accused me of whatever. It's the spiritual entity coming on me, and I think you and I channel back to them to protect ourselves. It's almost like not me talking, it comes through me. It's like, I don't need this anymore. I don't need your money. I don't need to help you. You go someplace else. It's not worth it. And then
and that's the thing. We can't, with what we do, we cannot help people until they get these dark things away from them.
And they don't see it. They don't hear it. They don't understand it.
No, they don't get it. And it's hard to help someone that's got something dark because it's kind of like when you were growing up as a kid. Remember your mom? Well, you got the good angel on the right side, and you got the bad angel on the bad guy on the left. And that's about what it is. The good guys are going to be helping you, but this other guy is overpowering them.
Yeah, I was in Alaska. She texted me. She didn't remember. She says, I didn't text you in Alaska. I'm like, yeah, I made it up. So then she wants an appointment. I call her. Well, I can't afford it. After I took 5 minutes to write down her credit card information, she was going to go online, which would have been more expensive. But I'm the crazy one. It's like, excuse me, I'm just doing my job, whatever, goodbye. And then I texted her and I reminded her of all the free times I've helped her, or the candles, or even a friend of mine in recovery who's big in the intervention industry. I gave her free advice for her son who was having issues, but I had to remind her, like, excuse me, remember, blah, 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 but you're too prideful to acknowledge that. Because they think it's all your fault, my fault. And it's like, sorry, you don't get to be right this time. I will admit if I'm wrong. I will apologize if I'm wrong. I have no problem cleaning up my side of this issue. But when somebody is so dead set on always being righteous, got a problem.
And then when I was talking with the shaman who knows me very well, I've known her for a long time, And she says, "Oh, you got stomach issues," which I do. And she says, "Well, your issue is too is that a lot of your abilities are coming through your stomach when you utilize them." And that's true because I've been in situations where I've been sitting down to do a post with somebody, kind of like on Ghost Hunters, where they sit down and they go, "Okay, here's what we found," and they're showing them on the laptop and all that, all this, all the EVPs and stuff. And I've been doing posts with people where I have felt something go through me during the post.
Well, it's not only that, but think about this for a moment. If you're going to pick stuff up, and I do too in the gut,
yeah,
where does 98% of all disease start? In the gut. So that's your core position in the body, which is closer to the reproductive system, and your legs, which is grounding you, but it's right smack at the second half of your body. If disease starts in the gut and spreads to all our organs, tissues, and muscles, and negativity starts there, just like constipation or colon cancers, because you're holding on to so much crap that it builds up. It's really metaphysical, but the gut is where everything's to be digested, turned around, released, right? But when we pick up negative and it goes to the gut, it starts in the gut. Yeah, because it's so heavy and negative, and it has to be digested of all the negative to go back to particulates like light and move forward again. Now, a lot of people with Crohn's disease, constipation, cancers of the gut, stomach, bladder, whatever, intestines, a lot of it is from holding on. You and I at least have the ability to identify it and let it go, or heal from it, or take a bath or something. Let go. A lot of people don't.
Now, I don't remember if I talked about this before on your show when I've been on there. I had an instance where we used to film a TV show called California Haunts. And we were up in this hotel filming a post. And I'm not going to mention names, but somebody went with us or came in from outside. And I could tell right away they were just zeroed in on me at that point. And I knew it. So I was
discussing that, but go on and explain it so that this audience hears it. What happened?
So I could feel it. I could feel the energy coming into my gut when they were watching me. And so what I did was, like you talk about, like a mirror sending it back. So what I did, and it was funny because I don't think they expected me to do it. They didn't think I was that strong with my abilities. And so what I did was I envisioned one of those silver trash can lids.
Like a beanie, yeah.
Or holding it like out in front of me like a shield. And when the energy went back to this person, they had the shock look on their face.
Because I felt that it was reverberating. That's great. The shield is one thing. So is, pretend this is milk, even though it's a candle. Pretend it's a big pitcher of milk, and you're pouring it all over you, and you become a white M&M, so that the white light elevates energy. Absolutely. So if somebody's attacking, it will repel. Another one similar to the shield or the lid is if you imagine there's a helicopter propeller on the top of your head. You can't see where I'm holding because my screen's weird today. But imagine a propeller, and you've got the different blades. Maybe you would put a book, a pen, and a phone on the blades, and it spins. Then tomorrow to be a bag of cherries, a ring light, and a candle. And you keep changing the items while it's spinning around so that the negative coming towards you goes through the propeller and not into our system. That's another one. And you just do that while you're on the air or if you're at the market so that the negative around you disperses and you're not absorbing it. That helps.
The other thing I teach when I teach psychic development is the same concept, essentially, with a ball of white light. To where you put your hands together, you keep putting your hands here until you feel the least resistance, like something resisting you.
Yeah.
And that's your white light. And then you can go with big, wide, or whatever you want to do with it. Yeah.
You can feel it on the top of your head. Like if I teach people to close the head chakra and the heart chakra by putting your arm straight up, and then you come down, 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 and you cup the palm, and all of a sudden you'll feel the heat right around here. At least I do, because it's that high. And you come down, take a deep breath, and then I act like I'm putting a bow or a bonnet to seal that chakra. And the same thing in front, coming into like where the bow would be on our bras or right in the center of our sternum for the guys, where they see it. and all of a sudden you're grounded and protected again. But a lot of people don't know that.
Right. The other thing, when we were talking about that heat feeling, I remember when I first met medium Nancy Matz, and she used to do cemetery tours out here at the Old City Cemetery. And this was like in winter, because they only do this stuff towards the end of summer to October, because, October being Halloween.
Halloween.
And I remember going out there. Back then, as Nancy puts it, I was a little shit. And, I was young back then and just starting out doing this stuff. And I remember her saying, okay, I want you guys to walk around with your palms down and feel the energies that are out here. And I thought, but it's like 45 degrees. What are we going to feel? But you can feel that heat. You can feel that heat energy.
Yep.
As you're walking around.
I was in a cemetery in New York about 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Jewish cemetery. It's called the OL, which is where the Rebbe is buried. And it's very, very prominent, world-renowned cemetery. And I followed a crowd. I thought I was going one place, but I found out I was in the procession of a funeral. I didn't know where I was. So I said, where's the building, blah, blah. And they told me back. So instead of going back on the path, I cut through the cemetery where all the people were buried and all the tombstones. I literally could hear voices saying, take me with you. It gets cold here in the winter. I don't like being here. I wish I wasn't dead. Can you help me? My father killed me. I mean, I heard the souls and the spirits of the crazies going through the cemetery, which people like you and I can audibly pick up.
Yes, absolutely. I had a story about that cemetery tour too. I got on it 2 or 3 times with her. In fact, it was like I did it for my college paper to do a haunted thing for Sacramento. That's how I got back into doing this stuff. Because of course, when I was young, I was seeing stuff all the time too. But then I kind of shut down for a while, and then that brought it all out. But I went to a history tour in the same cemetery at night, and I thought, well, I got my camera. I'm going to wander off and take photos. But then, as I'm walking around, I'm remembering the stories she told, and where these ghosts, these more prominent ghosts are. So I'm way across the cemetery from the group, and I'm in this little area where she says, and there's this girl, it was Christmas Eve, and she died from something, and she's still got a gown on, and she's dancing back here. So I'm walking back there, and I'm thinking, okay, these ghosts are back here. Where the hell are they? I'm over by where the gal is. What I didn't know at the time was that they had people in costume hiding behind the tombstones. For those
particular, so make you think that it's really a ghost?
Yeah. So I'm walking out there, and this is like 10 o'clock at night, right? Pitch black, no flashlight, and all of a sudden this gal steps out from behind this tombstone. That was the scream heard across the city for me.
And then you found out it was an actor. Then you found out it was an actor, but they do that to scare the daylights.
I had myself all hyped because I was looking for all these areas that Nancy said, well, there's a guy over here, there's, and then all of a sudden this person steps out from behind this tombstone. Wow.
They have something like that in Jamaica, in Kingston. And I forget the whole story, but it was about a woman. I can't remember her name. You can Google it. And they have a whole shrine built for her that she killed all her husbands. And in the back is supposedly her tomb, and you go by it and you start feeling and hearing all these things. But I can't tell really. I got spooked. I know it's a museum. I know it's pay to go in and be haunted, but some of it was so real. I got goosebumps. Then when we were outside, I had to back away from the tomb because whatever folklore I was hearing, I don't know if it was folklore. I don't know if she was going there, but sometimes you're in that fine line. Even we get spooked. Not all the time are we okay. If anything, we're more sensitive, and we don't know if it's right or wrong or real or not. Mm-hmm. But that must have been freaky if someone came out behind.
Dressed in a blue dress.
If you got scared, then the average person would have had a heart attack, Charlotte.
Well, all I could think about was the tour, there's a guy at the top of this phone pole. Well, he's the guy, if I die, he's the guy I want to be. He sits on top of this telephone pole and just watches everything. And that's the one I want to be. Okay. But so all these stories of where these different souls were, roaming around the cemetery, so I'm thinking about all that. It's going through my head. And then she steps out. Yep.
Yeah. I want to go back to the entities, though, because a lot of people don't know that people can send negativity, people can do magic, people can actually, we can walk into someone's home or an office or a store and there's entities in that environment that attach to us. And then we bring
Absolutely.
it home, or it starts doing its
Yes.
thing on us when we least expect it. Now, it's just interesting because I know we did a show a few weeks ago, and if both of us are being attacked, I don't know if it's you and me being attacked individually together, or if it's
Right.
coincidental, if it's the retrograde. There's so much going on out there. Who knows where it came from? But I know you were under the weather last week, and then I
Hmm.
reached out to you, help. Well, I can't right now. I don't feel well. So both of us were going, unless it's against a lot of the light workers that they want the dark wants us out. Okay, because
Right. Right.
North is going through it besides the retrograde, and when he complains, I know there's something heavy.
Right. The only thing I could think of is I did a prelim about a week before I did your show, and I didn't feel anything negative there. But when Nancy did the read on the house, she kind of picked up something negative. So maybe that's what's trying to stop me from going there. I don't know.
It could be. Sometimes I feel so cursed, and I hate saying it, but it's like work stops, money stops flowing, phones don't ring. I mean, it just comes to a dead halt.
Yes.
And I'm like, what is going on here? Okay, I can look at it. Well, the universe wants me to rest and reorganize and revamp, and don't worry about it. Pay your taxes and go through all the emotions and then pick up
Hmm.
again. Or there's really something going, screw you, you're dead, we're done with you, and we want you gone. And a lot of the times, I know I'm not making this up. I'm not
Hmm.
schizophrenic. A schizophrenic can't define schizophrenia.
Hmm.
Okay. Am I a medium? Yes. Do I choose not to channel as much? I don't deliberately channel the dead anymore, but I
Hmm.
can. But this sensitivity thing, you and I, as we age, and with all going on in the world, I think we ascend, and the higher we go, the more we get. The higher we
Hmm.
ascend with our gift and our vibration, they come after us. They're not going to
Right.
kill us. They're trying to bring us down.
Hmm.
But people think we're nuts when we talk like this.
Yeah.
We're like in our own little cult, but it's real stuff.
I
Sometimes,
just know when I go to the cemetery, I've had people tell me there's a conga line of people around me at the cemetery, literally.
so
Because,
they
like you
want you
say,
to take them home with you.
my energy, yeah, they want me to take them home with me. No, my neighbors are funny because my neighbors know me, they know what I do. And there are nights when, I'll do an investigation or whatever, and I know something came home, and I have to open all the windows in my house and the front door and yell, "Get the hell out of my house!" And the neighbors laugh because they know what I do.
Yeah, we talked about that on my show, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
true. I
yeah.
can talk to whatever this thing might be and push it out. Sometimes you got to do cleanse with like incense and sage and push it out the door and really take a broom and make it go away. And
Hmm.
sometimes it's not enough.
No,
It's not
nope.
just stinking thinking. It's not just obsession. Something or someone is definitely targeting us.
Well,
And I
that's the thing to remember too. A big rule we have ghost hunting. If we go out somewhere, if you're not feeling well, if you've been under the weather, maybe you're pregnant or whatever, don't go.
Yeah, you're more vulnerable and the
Yeah,
portals are open more. No, you're
yeah.
right. You want to stay safe. You want to stay protected. And
Hmm.
especially if you're pregnant, you don't want to infect or upset the fetus.
Hmm. Absolutely, and they will go for your weakest points, and that's the thing. I mean, for me, it's my like you say, it's my stomach. For me, that's my weakest point. And I remember when I got diagnosed with heart failure, I went and did this investigation, and I could feel a stabbing while I was doing the EVP session. I could feel the stabbing right in my back, right behind where the heart would be, on my
That
back.
was a spirit trying to backstab
Hmm.
you from before to get right through you. And a lot
Yeah.
of times I'll pick up something in a person about maybe something in their cervical or thoracic lumbar
Hmm.
vertebrae, when
Hmm.
really it's coming from the heart or the
Hmm.
gut, but I see it from behind and it goes right through because the spine's in the back and the organs
Hmm.
are in the front of the kidneys. But
Hmm.
the feeling, I have had uh, the knife, I've had people almost whisper in my ear. It's like, and I look around, there's no one there, but it's spirit talking.
Right. Right.
Right? or I will sneeze all of a sudden. There's nothing different, and all of a sudden the sneezing or the coughing where I feel I'm being choked.
Mm-hmm. Have that.
It's like
I've had them where I came home, fell asleep on the couch, and I could feel someone on top of me.
that's witch's writing. That's what's called witch's writing.
Yeah, and then I have to do that push off.
Yeah, you almost feel paralyzed. They're on top of you, trying to strangle you or to hold you down. That's called witch's writing, like a witch is writing you. And you're not going to die, but as soon as you come back, you got to get this thing off. Do you know why they do that? I don't really understand it. Do you? The witch's writing.
I don't know why they do that at all. At all. But they do it, you know. The other thing I was going to mention too is I know people that do investigating. I know a woman in particular that does it, that does basic exorcisms on houses, and her instructions are pretty plain and simple. When you go into somebody's house, you know, to take a spray bottle of holy water as you're going through before you even touch the doorknob, spray it. Go into the house before you sit down. Yeah, cleanse it all as you go, to make sure. And make sure you cleanse when you get out, too. That way nothing follows you back. I also knew somebody years ago that would go ghost hunting and you know, do an investigation, and any clothes she had on, she would get rid of.
I was just going to say clothes and shoes. A lot of the times you don't want to bring it back in your house because it will attach or absorb in our clothing or our shoes. And it's so negative. You can't just wash it out. You got to leave it. I don't have enough money to buy new clothes all the time. Sorry.
So I have to deal with it. But, you know, I'll wash it, though. I'll make sure I wash it.
Oh, yeah.
Or I'm more apt to go by the church, like with the equipment. If I know I was dealing with something really dark, I'm more apt to go by the Catholic Church and let them, you know, come out and bless my equipment before I bring it back in the house.
That's dark. That's heavy. That's huge. Yeah. Yeah.
And they know what I do over there, so they laugh and come out and bless it, you know. But, you know, one thing with the Catholic Church is that, and this is something that I have found, you know, as a Catholic Church, I don't know, I can't figure out if they're still on the fence whether they tolerate ghost hunters or what, but without us, a lot of these exorcisms wouldn't happen. Because the Catholic Church likes everything documented. And the people that document it are the ghost hunters. So sometimes they will work like with the John Zappases of the world and different people like that because they get, you know, they're able to document everything before they come out. And so that seems to be like a catch-22 because on one hand they don't like us, on the other hand, yeah,
they need you. They need you.
They need us to be out there on the front lines, you know, marking all this stuff down.
Have they ever come to you asking for help?
I have. Yep. There's been a couple of times. And I'm also good friends with people in the area that do that work as well, you know, to call them out to help. For a long time, when the shaman came on, it was like some kind of message went out to the universe.
What do you think the message?
That we were going to take on dark cases to help people. Because that's all we did for like a year. One after the other. Very stressful.
It's more than stress. Some people don't understand. I mean, you go to an MD, you go to a surgeon, you go to a therapist, you go to a sociologist, you go to a professor, you go to the banker. Everybody's dealing with people. We're all helping, but not all of the professions have people so sensitive that they take home all of the public's energy. It's different. I can't explain it. I'm not discounting a surgeon versus you. I'm not discounting the stress or the human connection, but I believe we get hit in a different way for what we do spiritually. If surgeons were going through what this is, they wouldn't be able to perform the surgery.
No.
Right?
And I remember that we were doing so many of those cases that when I did that year I did a conference up in Grass Valley. And one of my real close friends and associates was there with me. She thought I lost my mind. Because I was so deeply entrenched in doing these cases that when I actually did, you know, my little spiel during the conference, that's what I talked about was negative. And how to be careful.
I understand that we get so infected. I don't know what other word to say. So possessed, so taken over And it's like a different voice talking, like we're schizophrenic, but we're not. It's the spirit or it's the entity
Right.
twisting or trying to. I'm not acting dumb or pathetic towards certain people deliberately, but it comes out. And I don't know if that's, again, like you having the shield of the, to protect yourself, if that's the spiritual protection towards some of the negative people out there, even though you love them, but yet it's a warning to stay away from them because it's almost like the sheep in wolf's clothing, right? You don't know who they really are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys got to watch it. I mean, you got to watch your friends because sometimes even the best intentioned friends could be bringing stuff in.
Yep. Yep. And it's sad. If you're anything like me, I've gone through a lot of people in my life, people I thought I would never lose contact with. Those doors are now shut. And sometimes I really miss them and I go, what did I do wrong? Why me? Why did I get left behind? Then I start questioning, is it really me or was it spirit getting me out of the situation that wasn't helpful for my direction? I don't know. I don't have all the answers. It gets lonely. Then I want to reach out. And then I think if I start to reach out, it's like, no, don't open that door. No, keep going. So you learn, I learned to differentiate and become more discerning, not just for someone else's life as the seer, but I've been able to discern in my own life on a deeper level now which doors to open, even though I keep knocking on some and it's like, nope, I'm not getting the result I want. And Einstein was the one that says, insanity's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And some battles you just can't win, and others it's like, go on. I don't understand it, especially with my sister. I will never understand this karmic thing that's taken place. It hurts me to the bone, but I can't win. So I blocked her.
Sure.
Put this on my wall. Put this show on my wall. Maybe she'll listen. I don't know.
It's like I know we sound like we're off our rocker talking about this stuff, but we're not. And I mean, it's hard to control. I mean, the people, when they walk around, and I don't care if you believe in ghosts or not, or what your deal is, but people just walking in a mall can have 3 or 4.
Oh, of course, in public, a concert, the Dodger game, or any stadium rather, or look what we just had here in Southern Cal with Coachella for the week. With the music for the weekend. You don't know what you're collecting and inhaling and injecting, and it's attaching. It's not just the mall. Yeah, you could go if you're like me, I get tired in the mall. I get drained. Walking, just go get shoes or something, right? It's like, I gotta get out of here. Is it all the buzz of the lights and the people and the lower energy? And it's just like, I get what I need and get out. It's draining.
And it doesn't have to be a dark entity either. It could be just a normal entity. It's one of these things where they don't feel, it's kind of like the movie Poltergeist. They don't feel that energy anymore of being alive. They don't feel that anymore. So they want to touch you to feel that energy.
It's like putting on the finger, it's like plugging into the light socket. They want the feeling of our livelihood, right?
Yeah.
Have you written a book about all this?
I'm in the process of writing my book finally. Finally got it together to write my book, and I'm halfway through now.
Mine's going to publish in a couple of weeks. We're up to 204 pages now, so I think we're at the final edit and some testimonials. Maybe I'll have you read it, and then you can leave a blurb on the back or something.
Yeah, I can do that. No problem.
Because I'm going to testify to testimonials that this stuff is real. I wouldn't have believed it unless I lived it, because I used to think it was woo-woo weirdo stuff. But
right.
When you live it, it's a whole different story.
Well, like with me, of course, when I was young, I had abilities, which I knew, kind of see and stuff. But then again, you hit a certain age, and you kind of push those back because you have other interests. And so that kind of got pushed back. So then when I became a journalist, I started looking at things, and I'm not going to say medical term, but you know what I mean? You have to look at
more
things
diagnostic. You went
more diagnostic. And so I kind of was a non-believer when things started happening around me.
Then you believe.
And I believe. So the book is going to focus on, I was born with this, and then I was a non-believer, and then it turned me back into a believer with the stuff I've seen over all these years. because
And
there
then
is
you can
stuff going
teach
on out
the other
there.
people like this stuff is real as much as they poo-poo it and think you're nuts. Nope, there's enough people that we have testifying to our help or our abilities or our cleanse or our whatever, that we've got too many positive testimonies to say, yeah, this is real. Thank you for helping me. And you have to prove it because there's so much out there of the naysayers and the skeptics and the people who are the charlatans, especially the charlatans drive me nuts because especially with the internet, everybody's a psychic, a healer, a ghost hunter, it exploded. But there aren't that many real
Right,
gifts. You can't.
right. Absolutely. And I've seen that too. I remember how when I first started my team 18 years ago, there was hardly, there were psychics, but not like there are now. There was this huge explosion where everybody's a psychic now. Oh, I got
Well,
the
is
ghost.
is it because of the spiritual evolution, or do you think it's the internet?
I think
I
it's the
think
TV. I think it's the TV show on the internet.
made it okay for everybody. Now it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
Everybody's a psychic.
Yeah.
Everybody's evolved. Everybody's blah blah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's that many true gifted readers. There's a lot of spiritual people. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of different categories of holism and holistic medicine and spiritual arts and all of that. But are we all that psychic? No, I believe we're all intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
That's a given. But being clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient to the level of the work that you and I do, I'm not saying that we're special. I just don't know that there's that many up here. There's a lot in the middle.
Right. Right.
And there's those that are growing and exploding or evolving.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what the true number is for all those that do cards online and candle magic online or supposedly helping people. I don't know. I don't even go out there to look. I hear about it and it's just enough like I don't want to deal with it because most of it's negative, or I call it lower ethereal, like a lower energy.
Right. Right. Well, that's the thought too. Is for the longest time we would have to go out to some investigations and clean up after other groups.
I've done that.
Because you get these people that where did you learn about ghost hunting? Oh, I watch TV.
Yeah, so they know how to fix their house, and then they need you to fix it, right?
Yeah, yeah. So you get that. Then you have teams that go out because they have watched TV and they think they know how to do everything. I can tell you guys from experience.
Or they get sick.
Yep.
Attacked.
From experience, we spent the first 5 years just doing hotels and stuff, old hotels, to learn what we were doing. When we found our first opportunity to go into somebody's house, we were panic-stricken. We were nervous. Because we didn't want to mess with somebody's life and do something wrong.
I'm the same way. Let's talk about that so the listener understands this, because sure. I've had similar experiences. Many, many years ago, I was on a TV show and they filmed me at the Queen Mary down in Long Beach, California. And they wanted me to identify where the woman died in bed with the cigarette and where the guy, we were downstairs in the boiler room and all I heard was, I said, somebody died here. And the guy said, yes. And he said, where? And he took me, we walked around. I said, it's right here. Apparently some automatic door squashed one of the workers. And I could hear the tapping of him with a hammer on the door until somebody rescued him, but he had died. The pool was contaminated with and haunted. And I picked it all out. I still have the video from that show. But that was real ghost hunting back then. Not that I want to do it, but I was able to identify. And people don't know that, yes, you can find out. But if you don't know how to protect yourself and you come back or you go into it, you can get overwhelmed with all of that weird stuff. So when Charlotte says, being overwhelmed in someone's home, you go to a hotel, two things just came to mind. One, not only were there spirits from people who had died in that space, but a hotel is constant in and out of people making money because people stay in hotels or B&Bs and Airbnb. Wherever you go, people just were there and you don't know what they brought in or what they left. So it was good to get that experience. But when you go to someone's home, which I have done, and you are responsible to cleanse it, whether it's candles, herbs, sage, there's different techniques, and you go through every nook and cranny. And yes, it could be their clothing or their bathroom or the kitchen, and it's their personal stuff. And if you don't do it right, you can leave portals of openings, as they are, where the spirits can still sneak in and sometimes leave it worse than when you got there.
Yes. Yep.
Untrained person can do more damage. And I've had, like you've had, people to clean up. Oh, I did these candles and I found them on YouTube, but my car got stolen. I said, well, it wasn't the right ritual to bring in money, and you got to be careful. So she bought mine and things cleaned up. I'm not saying my candles are any better. It's just be careful out there, because you don't know what's behind the entity or the product or the service. And it's not that I think I'm better than anybody. I have a whole handful of psychics I go to that I trust. We all do. We all need each other. But I won't step over certain lines to really sell my soul, even though they're trying to steal my soul at times. Like with you, you won't give it up, but you will fight when you have to.
Absolutely.
Because you know you're right. You know you're right.
And the other thing with residentials, you have to be careful, because you're out there and they're going to tell you, well, just like with the work you do, okay? They're going to bend your ear and tell you everything about them, about what's going on, about, mentally, oh, I don't like this, and this has been going on. And I mean, it's just what people do. And so we do have a huge, huge questionnaire that we use to sort through stuff, because we are dealing with people's mental state at times. And so it's a huge responsibility when you go out on these residential cases.
I just like release, because there's so much I identify with you versus me, even though I'm more the psychic healer and you're the haunt specialist to get rid of the ghost. But in between, there's still energy, there's negativity, there's attachments, there's entities, there's different spiritual things that you can't see, but you can feel, or you might get so sick and it has to be removed. Or people may be so messed up mentally that they want to make you think you're the crazy one. It gets weird. It does, and it's hard.
It does get weird. And it's hard to describe. Until it happens to somebody, it's hard to describe. Just like I have people on my team that are diehard debunkers, and I don't care what happens to them, they still believe that it was something logical that happened to them. It could be explained, no matter what. So there's people that you just can't reach with this stuff to explain it.
No, they're too cognitive, or they don't believe. And I'm not talking religion. You're not talking religion. Spirituality and spirits and the paranormal is a world in and of itself that the average human does not comprehend. I don't care how, I'm spiritual. I'm becoming real spiritual. Great. Trust God, do your prayer and meditations, hug a tree, but you're not as spiritual. Like I'll say, if you're that spiritual, why are you feeling or saying blah, 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 blah? No, you're just learning. Then they have to say, yeah, I am just learning. Yeah, well, at 28, you don't know what I do at 70. I think you'll learn as you go, and you're open to change, but you got to go through the process. It's almost like an indoctrination, going through different portals again. They push you through if you're supposed to.
When you first started doing this and you realized you had a talent for it, how did your family respond to it?
Hated me. They thought I was like a prostitute. My sister put me down because, for those that don't know, I became psychic in a plane crash in 1981 on February 17th. Coming down the ramp, I actually had an out-of-body near-death experience and became what's known as a walk-in. I didn't know what a walk-in was until a psychic said, "Oh, you're a walk-in." I said, "What's that?" "Oh, when you're close to death." She's told me whatever entered you is a psychic. I said, "I'm not a psychic." Well, 43 years later, I am known around the world as a psychic. But I didn't know, and I suppressed it for 12 years. I walked around saying, "No, I'm not." And I would hear things, see things, feel things, to the point of exploding. I didn't want it. I didn't understand it. And then back then, there was no internet to even Google what it was, right? I had no one to touch to confirm it. Then I got accepted to Psychic Friends Network with Dionne Warwick, and they wanted me in the first infomercial back in 92. So that was the beginning of my fame. And when my sister heard I was going to be in the infomercial, she called me every name in the book as if I was walking the streets in a short mini skirt, turning tricks. You know, you're selling your soul. You think you were this, did you? And it hasn't stopped with her since. Like, I blocked her today. It's like, enough of my sister already. I love her to death, but she doesn't get it. She doesn't understand what I see and feel. And I took her out of my book. I told her today, I said, I'm taking you out of the book because of how you're treating me. I'm not even going to acknowledge it. Maybe I will. But it's just so opposite. But going through the family thing, it was embarrassing for them because my background's epidemiology, and that's academic and science, and it looked good. But what happened to me internally, shifted spiritually, all this energy, all this new wisdom. I didn't ask for it. It found me. Then after the fire truck accident, it was more. And then I totaled the car with the white light experience. I saw the other side. I've been attached to the other side for so long. I know what's out there, but I try to show up in life. And sometimes I can't communicate because they don't get it. After a while, my mother, who's been gone 15 years, I got in radio, as you know, in 1994, and I became the #1 radio psychic. And for a long time, I was on the air. And for years, she couldn't understand it. Then one night, I had my parents come to the station, the FM station at CBS. And my mother finally saw what I did. She never quite pat me on the back about it, you know. She never quite understood it. And then when she passed away, her friend and I had had lunch a few times, and this woman had said, your mom never really understood your job. I said, I know. She says, yeah, she had told me one time, she said, I hear she's very good. I never got the compliments or the adulation. You know, I should have been an epidemiologist. I can't be an epidemiologist. You don't understand. That's why I went into metaphysics. When you're drawn, or in my case, I was led. I was given the purpose. I didn't ask for it, Charlotte. I didn't say, I'm going to become a famous metaphysician. It's like, what? You know, a lot of people, you're a psychic. I hate that term because it's got so much negative connotations when really it's a gift if you understand it. Very embarrassed at the beginning. So the family kind of like didn't want to talk about it. But as I became more successful, now that my father is almost 95 years old and he's in and out with his dementia, I would say the last 2 or 3 years, I'm so proud of you. Look what you've accomplished. I've gotten awards. I'm going to Dubai in December. I've been nominated for 4 awards. Entrepreneur of the Year, Business Woman of the Year, Metaphysician of the Year, all this stuff. I got nominated. If I pass all the other channels, I'm going to Dubai. And I told them, so when they see the accomplishments or the recognition, now I'm okay. But at the beginning, no way. It was, you're what? You're full of it. You know, there was no support. No. But I didn't give up. I did not give up. And that's like anybody else with a passion or a drive or a purpose. Don't give up. Just like you, regardless of all the people trying to bring you down, we pop back up because we know we're supposed to do this. You're not hurting anybody.
Yep. Absolutely. I remember 4 years ago when my mother died, and I was at that crossroads. I've been ghost hunting all those years. Took time off to take care of her. And I remember one of my friends saying, "You're going to be known for this. I mean, really known for this." And I thought, maybe I just don't really want to be that. You know, and even then, I was like, maybe I don't want that. You know, reputation. I want to do this. But then, you know what? I was led to it. Like you say, there was no turning back.
No, it's almost like they chose us. We've been selected. I, in my wildest dreams, did not grow up thinking I'm going to be a psychic. I mean, come on. I wanted to be Joni Mitchell, but not a psychic.
I hear you. I hear you. Linda, our hour has gone by fast. Look at that.
It always does.
Boom! It always does. I'm so glad you are in my life. I'm glad we became friends.
Likewise. I should come up north one time and we should just meet finally because we've done all this online for a few years. Or you come down to LA. I can take a trip up sometime.
That
but
could work.
yeah, and then you can come back on the show in a couple of weeks. I love it because we talk about the reality of this world as opposed to just interviewing others that are on the path. But I think there's a depth here. I don't know all your clients and guests, but you do get deep. But I think it's good to see the different energies and aspects, especially during this retrograde. We're all being attacked. There's a lot of weird stuff, but this attack lately, both of us kind of went down this weekend, and it's painful.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But I'm glad we did.
What is next for you?
Well, I'm working with my editor. We're at, like she said, 204 pages, so the book should probably be published hopefully by summer. I'm on the verge of a new marketing campaign for my Weeks of Wisdom Candle Magic line. If people are into candle magic, I have my line. It's all at lindasalvin.com. And of course, I do 3 podcasts a week at Psychic Solutions Podcast. It's all at lindasalvin.com. And anybody wants a reading or a healing, I'm here. Just like Charlotte's here. You know, I've referred a few people. Doesn't mean they hire you, but at least we help each other and make referrals when necessary. You know,
Yeah, we do.
we keep each other sane.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you very much. Bye, Charlotte. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Linda. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, it's always fun to have Linda on, and again, she became a really good friend. You never know. I've met a lot of people doing this show, and I've met a lot of people in the industry, and Linda Salvin is a good egg. She's a good egg. So if you need a reading or anything like that, that's where you want to go. All right, tomorrow we're changing it up a little bit because I have a MRI tomorrow evening at 5 p.m., so I'm going to be doing the show at noon Pacific tomorrow, and we're going to have Stephen Miller on, and we're going to be talking about UFOs and Project Doorway. And if you don't know what Project Doorway is, that's why God made Google. So check out Google and check out Project Doorway. Very interesting project that he's worked on, and you'll be fascinated to hear who he has worked on this thing with some very famous individuals. So you can check that out. So that'll be tomorrow at noon Pacific. I'll be right back here. Anyway, thank you all for coming. If you like the show, share it with 5 people. If you hated the show, share it with 5 of your enemies. We're equal opportunity here. Just trying to get the word out on this show, and you guys do a fantastic job of it. I want to thank you all. Got to keep that going, keep it going, keep it going. All right? Okay, I will see you tomorrow, and remember, you can get Linda at lindasalvin.com. And here we go. I'm going to sign off here. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody.